Joining me on another Let's Talk with the Doc. Running a couple of minutes behind the time, but here we are, and I am excited to be here because tonight again, another guest is on my program live, and I have tonight Stacy Elevated Wilson. And I'm excited to have her on Let's Talk with the Doc because everybody has a story and everybody's story is uniquely different. And so we will see what Stacy's story is when I come back. I will talk to her. So hang in there when we come back. We will talk to Stacy. ORB Ministry presents Let's Talk with the Doc. Grace Without Borders podcast. A thought for you. Ask Pastor. And a whole lot more. You never know what's next or who will join the conversation. All right, so here we are. We are live, and I am excited to have Stacy Elevated Wilson with me. And let me welcome you. Where it says Sister Stacy, Minister Stacy. What do we say?
Stacy Elevated Wilson.
Stacy Elevated Wilson. We're gonna get to the elevated part of Stacy, but we wanna for those who don't know who is Stacy Wilson before she became elevated.
Yes.
I'd like to journey with you to find out a little bit about Stacy. So, for those who don't know about you, your story, your background, where you are, where you're from, etc., give us a little bit of synopsis of Stacy's story, where she was born, growing up, siblings, parent, background, what neighborhood, family dynamics, whatever you
Yeah.
want to give us an insight into Stacy before she became elevated.
Thank you, Doc, for having me tonight. Thank you, Doc.
My pleasure to
Is
have.
that okay to call you Doc?
That's fine. That's what they say. That's fine. That
Thank
works
you.
as well.
Thank you for having me tonight. Thank you. Thanks to all your viewers out there, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you are tonight. Thank you, TikTok, for tuning in tonight. I am Stacy Elevated Wilson. I also known as Some know me as Judine back home. Some know me as Stacy Gordon. Some know me as Champagne. Quite a few little names they may remember, yes.
Okay, all right, all
And
right.
so I am a mother. I am a
Okay, before
grandmother.
before you, before you get to mother grandmother, we want to know where Stacy was born.
Stacy was born in St. Catherine, Spanish Town.
Okay.
Yes, a little place called Crescent District, now Angels Estate.
Oh, okay.
That's where
All right.
Stacy was born.
Okay. All right. What was it
And
like? What was it like when you were born and when you're growing up, developing sisters, brothers, single, only child? What's your family dynamics? Where you fall if you have siblings?
yes, I am the third of eight kids from for my mom, Marjorie Lewis, and
Okay.
I am the second for five for my dad, Herbert Gordon.
Oh,
Um,
so you're well surrounded with siblings.
yes, yes. I have four sisters and three brothers. Again, one by my dad and his wife as well.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. So what was it like? You're the third. So what was it like in the childhood days growing up? Those who are older, those who are younger. What was the temperament between you and your siblings? Those who you were in the same home together.
Well, growing up, I'm always the mouthy one. I tend to talk back to my mom. I'm the one I'm always right. And I'm going. But of course, if we get into trouble now, I'm the first one to say, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, let me tell you, because if I'm gonna get in trouble with you, I'm the first one to say, Mommy, let me tell you the truth," and then it's all gone. So yeah, I'm
So
the one has. But yes, I get
so
a lot of beating.
okay, so you're the mouthy, were you fighty as well, or just pure
No,
mouth?
no, no fight. Just
Just mouth?
talk back. Yeah, just talk back.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, all
I
right,
will talk back.
okay, all right, all right. What was it like, as you grew up in the neighborhood? What was your neighborhood like, as far as you can remember? What was it like?
My neighborhood was a humble one. Let me put it like that. I grew up in a very humble neighborhood. And of course, at one point to get to where everybody knows me,
Hmm.
Lou, daughter Judine, because I'm always singing, singing, singing. So I'm
Okay.
one of them that they know most uh, than the
So
others.
so you were singing from when did you start to sing?
Well, I realized I can sing at age 11. That's
Okay.
when I realized I can sing. I don't remember singing nothing before that, but at age 11, I realized I can sing because then, yes, singing everywhere. At one point, I got baptized in church, but I wouldn't say I grew up in the church. I just got baptized and didn't understand much. So I dropped out of church. And then I was the only one in my mom, in all of the siblings. I'm the only one that was baptized. So, of course, yes. And I
Okay, so I'm curious. I'm always curious about
left.
what was your attachment to church that was different from other family members? What created the attachment?
I never I never spoke about this. I don't think I've ever spoken about this before, but the first time I got saved in the church or got baptized, my uncle had passed. My uncle died during that time frame, and I guess I feel scared because he died, and he used to be a 7 day Church of God, and he ended up dying on the day that he would have been in church if he did not, he was out of church. So had he not left church, I wasn't going, he probably would have been in church that Sabbath. So I grew up, my grandma was Sabbath, my grandpa, you know we visit the church but weren't a part of it. But so I saw this crusade one night, and then I went there, keep going there, and see my friends going there too. So a part of it was following, and a part of it was scared.
So
One's gonna die and go to hell kind of thing.
okay, so you were aware of the whole thing. So let me go back a little bit onto your uncle. So you said your uncle died. You
Yes.
said he was not in church. Did he stop going to church, or
Stop. He had stopped.
so he
Right.
stopped going to church?
Right.
And
He was. Mhm.
and that age, you thought that he died because he wasn't going to church.
No, not really. No, I thought that, well, he died, he wasn't in church. And then, so to me, if I die and not been saved, I'm going to go to hell. That kind of feeling.
So you
And I
were so
know,
you so you were conscious that in your little mind, and I'm not saying this is what it
yeah,
was, but in your mind, you thought the fact that he wasn't going to church, maybe he's
may
not
have
gone to
gone to,
heaven.
yes,
Maybe okay,
because,
okay,
and then I was saying, that too, but I was saying, if he was in church, he would have been in church that Sabbath, he wouldn't have missed his church, was
okay,
all,
okay.
yeah,
Okay, so okay, that's a calculation of the innocent mind. Say
yeah,
okay, you're processing things in your own way, and that's good. So
right,
that drove fear into your heart, and a desire not
right,
to be not to die and go to
yeah,
hell and not heaven.
right.
Okay, so now you are motivated to go to church. So what was your step as you decide? You know what? I'm gonna go to church and do what?
I'm gonna go to church and serve God. it wasn't singing didn't drive me there, of course, but going to church and they learn that I can sing, they would do a little, penny concert. I don't know if you ever heard of penny concerts in church, and they realized that I could sing, and yeah, it feels sweeter now because I would get to sing something. But my siblings were, my home wasn't into the church. My mom did not even like that pastor. And so let me share a little story real quick. With the day when I was getting baptized that morning, because she used to curse real bad. She's
Mm.
now saved, thank God.
Thank God for
And
that.
she was on fire that morning. Trying to, I guess that was to discourage me, but I still pick up my shoes and I went that morning and got baptized. She never liked the pastor. She has a lot of stories. But anyways, going there and realize that yes, everybody like me. They realize I can sing, you know, but it has its moment. It has its, you know,
Mm. So how long did you stay? Because you say you kind of dropped out somewhere. How long
yes.
did you stay before you dropped out, and what dragged you out?
Of course, I start having I age 13, 14, somewhere. I believe it was 13. They started having little stage shows in the area, little community stage shows and competition. And I used to be a good dancer as well.
Okay.
And so I can't get to go because when everybody gone to the stage shows and I don't get to go because I'm supposed to be a Christian. And as you do something, they'll turn on you. Say, you're a Christian and they're not doing anything, you know, help me
Mm-hmm. You
to
know that.
stay a Christian. Right. So it was a little stage shows and the little party here and there, the little, community thing that we would get to go to. And I wanted to go and I couldn't wear pants in this church. I was not allowed to wear pants. And I just I just wanted to do what the others were doing. So it kind of pulls me out. And
Okay.
that's when I
Okay.
started going around and singing at different little community shows. And I sang a lot in school as well, school devotions. Quite a
Okay.
few teachers know me. Um, the principal, she was a teacher at that time, my teacher. She's now a retired principal at Crescent All Age School. I went to Crescent All Age at one point. She still reached out to me, still says she's proud of me and stuff. So, I sing at start going out to different youth clubs. I don't think they have that much anymore. They used to have youth clubs and you would get to go on a trip with the buses and
Mm.
visit other clubs. So that was sweet.
Okay, so now Stacy's exploring the world. Church was like a little bondage for her, keeping her constrained, and she wants her freedom
Did not understand
to
at
be on
all.
stage, to wear the pants, to hang around with
Yes,
the friends, to go here and do what you wanted to do. At the wild age of early teens, when we're trying to discover ourselves and know where we want to
yes,
go with life, we explore everything, right?
yes.
And okay, so
Yes.
been there, done that. Been there, done that. Must I say myself? Been there, done that. So I can attest to that kind of experience. Been there, done that. But thank God, I've got myself back together for 52 years now. So I'm
Oh,
excited
glory
about
to
that.
God.
All right. So
Okay.
yeah, 52 years since I got
Okay.
myself back in. Since I got back in. So that's a
I'm
long
just,
time.
oh, wow. Glory to God. I want to be like you when I grow up, okay?
Well, keep on coming, keep on coming. All right, all right,
Okay.
okay, okay. So no, you're not singing gospel, or you're doing a blend of both. You're doing little gospel, little other things out there, or are you were just singing gospel at the
No,
stage
strictly, you mean now?
at the stage shows back then
Oh,
in the
no gospel, no gospel at the stage show, no.
no
I
gospel.
wasn't doing, I grew up singing the songs of Mariah Carey. Whitney Houston and Cheryl Franklin, some CC Winans, but I remember at these stage shows, it was more like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and Cheryl Franklin.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're singing those people's songs, that means you're a big
Mhm.
time singer.
I'll let
What,
that,
what, what one can only assume, right?
I'll
Because
let that swing.
the average person don't pick up those people's songs because
No.
those are not mumbling songs.
You know what, Mr. Orville, Doc, I am so grateful for them, for those folks, because I never got voice trained. I never go to school for none of that. So I used to sing their songs and train my own vocals, my own voice. Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
I
all right.
can't sing some of them now, but I know I used to sing.
All right, all right, all right. We don't know because you might not try them because for other reasons. But okay, so now you're excited. You're singing in school. You're singing on stages. You're doing your little community tours, and you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, what what were your aspirations? What did Stacy? At what point Stacy say, "Okay, this is what I want to become when I grow up"? Do I just want to just keep on exploring? Singing more, or what were your aspirations?
Really, I wanted to become a professional singer someday. I thought that back in I believe 98, I I think I spoke about this previously a little bit, but I went to one of these shows and ran into I was singing on the stage, I remember, and a group of guys came and they pulled me off the stage. They were, because the people was making a lot of noise, and this was my first time in that area. And he came and pulled me off the stage and said, keep the fire burning and let the people want you, whatever. So I realized, okay, I felt like I'm good to be something. These guys see something, and so they people crying again for me, and that was my first experience of feeling like I believe I can,
Okay,
be something
okay,
bigger.
all right. A sense of worth. I think I'm hitting
Yeah,
some
I
spots
feel
here.
right. And then I started the next day, I met those guys the night, and the next day I was in the studio. And so, yes, I wrote a little song back then. Of course, it's out in the world, more like a DJ kind of sing J kind of thing. You could write a beat, write a rhythm, play the
Okay,
rhythm, you
all
write
right.
it.
Jamaican term, ride the rhythm. We know that.
Yeah. They, so they took me to the studio and have me in the group, and the guys start helping me put stuff together. And so I said, yes, this is what I want. I want to be a singer. And, you know, things was looking up, and um they got us signed. It went on for a little while till I signed contract with these guys. I didn't
Oh, hold a second. So okay,
I never thought
so you were on stage one night, and the guys
yes.
were so impressed with you on stage that
Uh-huh.
they took you to studio the following day,
Yes. Next day. Yes, the following day.
and you didn't know these guys, or you knew them a long time ago.
I did not know them, but the connection I heard of. There
Oh,
were some big guys out there. They connected to some sound system, and other guys that were there that I know, was telling me about the link. When you get a link, open doors and feel
wow.
like the doors, has been open, and so that's what feeling you had. And other guys that I know, they were saying, "Man, go for this." And I remember this one guy, he felt I was gonna be so big now that he wanted to claim that he's he's my manager. And then I remember these guys said, "Do you know that guy?" And I was like, "Yes." What is he to you? I said, "Oh, he's my friend." But he invited me to that event. He
Hmm.
invited me, but he wasn't my manager. So of course, the people had links, the people had connections. So
So
We didn't.
when you left the stage that night, when you left the stage that night, what did they tell you when the like at the program was over? When what did they tell you on your way
Oh,
home? What did you had to decipher or try to? By the way, how old were you then?
at this time, I believe 19, 18, 19.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
was 18, 19, somewhere there.
okay. Grown up young lady.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you went home, so did you know you were gonna go to the studio the following day, or you got made they made contact the following day?
Okay, so I left with the impression that yes, this is it. I felt like this is gonna be it for me, the connections and all. And yes, they said they're gonna give me a call, and they would like me to, be a part of the group because there was a group. The group was called Excalibur Group, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. So
Hmm.
um, they said they'll make contact with me and just listen out for them. And so I had given them my aunt's number because back then, no
Only a
cell phones
landline,
and
only a
uh,
landline.
yeah. So make my I went to my aunt and I make sure that I was there. I believe I was already staying with my aunt. I believe so. I gave them my aunt's number and they called the landline. I gave
Okay.
them the number. They gave me theirs, but back then you call the number, you're gonna get in trouble because Auntie Bill is gonna run.
Yeah, we understand. We understand. Wait for the call. Don't make the call. Wait for the call.
Right.
So I'm curious. I'm curious
Mhm.
as to what did they tell you that caused the rush? What did they want to just beat the high when it was hot, or did they want to
You
make sure
know,
nobody else took you? They want to get the first bite at you.
that was a part of it because this is a new girl coming up, and at that time you had um Tanya Stevens, was just coming out. You had Lady Saw. She was
Hmm.
running the place. And,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know, I mean, I sing, but I also wanted to try the sing J kind of thing that I'm seeing them doing.
You want to do a
And
little
I
bit of
mean,
Sister Nancy kind of thing.
yes. I and then the Tanya Stevens sound more would have been more what I wanted to try because
Okay.
to me I see it as a sing J. They call it sing J. But yes, so they wanted to grab me. I mean, remember they found me with a voice. They want to know where this girl is, and I wanted the opportunity as well, based on the connection and all of that. So I thought
All
this
right.
was going to be a big hit for me.
So it was a mutual excitement. Mutual excitement.
I was excited. Yes.
Mutual excitement. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so when I'm curious now about your family, siblings, parents. Tell me about breaking the news to them. Like, tell me about what was it like when you broke that news to your family, your siblings, and what the reaction?
Okay. Um, I believe I believe my mom. I told my mom that week. I think I told her later on in that week, somewhere there, because I believe I was staying with my aunt at that time. So I I know after I start going to the studio and doing the song with the guys, there was a bunch of guys that come together and they'll put songs together and give to me to do. Then I remember my mom, they were excited. My uncle, he just passed the other day, may his soul rest in peace.
Yes.
Him, it was so fast, Mr. Orville, that the, at one point they were playing a song for me on Irie FM.
Mm.
Yes, way in the morning, and my uncle had heard that I was a part of the group, and he was telling everybody that, oh my God, my niece, she bust. But as I said, I would leave it there because of, the
That's all right. That's okay. You say what you want to say. You
how
don't have
the
to say more
story
than what you
went.
want to say.
Yeah,
That's
yes,
fine.
yes.
That's fine.
Yes. So
That's fine.
my mom, everyone was excited because I think they thought this was it. Of course, until I run into some stone blocks. So
Okay. All
yeah.
right. So we're journeying with you on your story. And there's an open door for you to share your story. Whatever you want to share, you can
Yes.
share, and whatever you don't want to share, because the more people know who is Stacy Elevated Wilson, the more they will appreciate your ministry as well.
Yes. Yes.
And maybe some people will be able to identify with your story, and it can be a source of inspiration for some people, because some people's struggles are stepping stones for other people, and they learn from other people's dark places. They learn how to climb up and how to keep hope alive. So, all right.
Right.
So now you got the big gig, we call it. The big
Yes.
gig, the big thing happened at this age, and your
Yes.
projection was, okay. The sky is going to be the limit for me now.
Yes.
All right. Okay. When and how did that turn around, if you care to say?
This, well, so it was going good. And at one point, they even got a signing contract with them. I remember Louis Fraser Bennett was, but at this time, I really don't understand nothing. I just know I wanted to sing somewhere.
Got
She
it.
was a part of to show you the connection was big. She I think she managed some part of something, and she would have meetings with us. And I remember she told me, because it was like five guys, and I was the only girl in the group. And she told me, do not put yourself with these guys. Do not put yourself, because they love you now and they treat you like a sister. The minute you put yourself with these guys, they're not gonna see you like that anymore. And I take that word. She's
Hmm.
passed on gone, but she left that with me, and and that makes me feel emboldened and feel, like yes.
So she
So
was just suggesting, keep it clean. Just keep it
yes,
clean and sing. Keep it clean and sing.
yeah, she was telling me how good I am, beautiful I am, and all of that. And she took me by myself, and she was talking to me as the only female, But as it went on and signing contract, it didn't even last. After signing contract, it was not long after that the producer ran into some problems, and I never see him again.
Oh wow.
At first, the group was trying to keep it down because they see me as the little sister, and I guess some of the guys were related to the producer, so they didn't want to say much. But then later on, as it go on and on, they let me know what was going on.
Okay.
And so, yes. So
So
as a
you
result,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I remember two guys came to me, separate people came to me asking me for singing, and I would immediately tell them that I signed a contract just in case, because I didn't know, you know, I didn't want to
Hmm.
mess up myself or bring them into something. But little did I know that the moment I didn't hear from him, or I don't, whatever the trouble that he was in, it would have forfeit the contract
Anyway,
anyways.
wow, wow,
Right. But
wow.
I forgave them, and I moved on, and
So no, so no, so now Stacy's dream is
that part
is a nightmare.
that part was
That
disappointing.
part of the dream became a nightmare, because what the excitement kind of died
I know.
briefly. Okay, so where did you go? Where did you go after a heartbreak? Where did you turn? How did you see yourself projecting, when at first you thought, yes, here is my opportunity? How did you handle that when that didn't happen?
I just didn't say much. I never really talked about it, or some people think that something's still going on, and you know, I was young, so I don't really know much about. And then I I had my daughter at a young age, so your mind, you got preoccupied with other stuff, and I just I get over it. I can't tell you, the deep detail, but I just didn't talk about it too much.
Okay.
It was embarrassing too, because but you just leave it alone. I don't know the many things they say during that time. I was young, but
All
that
right.
went by.
All right.
Uh,
All right. So okay. So where did your life turn around now? And at what point did you get back into church? At what time did Stacy sit down and say, "Okay, what am I
well,
gonna do with my life now? How do I move forward?"
well, thanks be to God. I used to go to karaoke in at the Hilton in New Kingston.
Okay.
One of my aunt, she passed. May her soul rest in peace.
Bless her.
She see me. She know I sing here and there. She was telling me that in those areas, you can be discovered in those areas because it's in the New Kingston area, and she told me about this karaoke. And I don't know, Jenny, if you're listening, I hope to beat up Jenny one day. I'm just gonna let you laugh, Mr. Orville, because I went to karaoke that night. I didn't get to sing because I was told I'm late. So you have to go there early to be able to put your name in so
Oh.
you can be called. And then nobody knows anything about me. So even if after they knew, what I was capable of doing, I get a little blind if I go a little later. But before, no. So I keep going, and whenever I go, I'm always late. And one day I went to sing. I didn't get to sing. And I was just walking away to go home because I always want to go to the Apollo. I dream of going to the Apollo. So I wanted to maybe find someone that will help. But that's where I met my ex-husband that, helped me to. That's how Stacy get to the United States. I met this wonderful gentleman at that time came and spoke to me, and he's passed now. May his soul rest in peace. And that's, he fell in love with me and we fell in love with each other. And that's where, that came by. And after getting to know him, I remember he started trying to get me to the United States. It wasn't difficult. It was a smooth sailing. Took a
Hmm.
little bit longer than some people would, but I started going back to church. And then I remember I told the Lord, if you help me, to come to the United States, I will serve you forever. Because I was telling the Lord that I just felt like nobody can take care of my mom. I can take care of my mom. I can take care of my family. I'm the one that will help. Because I'm always helping, being younger, I'm always helping somebody.
Hmm.
So I told the Lord, if you help me, I will serve you forever. And before I came to the United States, I got rebaptized and went back to the same church, got baptized, you know, and I'm here. Of
Okay.
course,
So the
I
same church
came
where the same church where you started
at 11,
and
yes.
left, and then you went back in your early 20s now, maybe, or somewhere thereabout.
Yes.
Okay.
When you,
And what was the atmosphere on your return? Because I know in everything in life
it,
there are negative and positive people. People who are joyful to see you come back, and some people say, okay, good for you. No, you run left the Lord, you gotta run back now because things didn't go. I'm sure there are negative and positives. What was the atmosphere like when you went back?
it was joyful. It was joyful because some of them know that I'm married and
Okay, all right.
buddy, my ex-husband, you see him, you think he was white because he was mixed with German, and he's from St. Elizabeth somewhere. he was high
Okay.
colored, so of course
Okay.
one would thought that he was white. He was mixed with German.
Okay. So
So
so you almost come out like a big thing.
when I come back, well, I felt like a big thing.
Okay, okay. See, yeah, it's exactly see what I'm trying to delve
Felt
into.
like a big thing too, but other from that, it was welcoming. As I said, I don't know if everybody looks at it the way I'm saying it, but it was joyful. The pastor was happy that I returned to church, and other members were happy. And of course, some happy because they know I'm married. And of course,
Okay.
as I said,
All
the
right.
story. So,
All right, all right,
yeah.
all right, all right, all right. My friends, I'm talking to Stacy Elevated Wilson. Stacy Elevated Wilson, and this is her journey of singing, and now seems like it's another dimension that she's rising now, rising again. Is that rising or rising again? Which one?
Well, I believe this is the rising. I don't know what that was back then, but
Okay, so you're
I'm glad I
rising
didn't.
now.
Is this is the rising? I'm glad I didn't rise then because
Okay.
wherever I would rise to, I'm glad it would have probably would have trapped me somewhere. So
Oh
this
well,
is the
well.
rising, my brother. This is the
So,
rising.
so now you can look back and say all things work together for good to them that love God, call according to His purpose. So, all
Yes,
right,
sir.
what I thought would have been my dream and my aspiration. So the biggest thing, God was looking at it differently. So now we're gonna go along with what God is doing. All right, you can invite your friends to join us, my friends, because we're gonna get a little bit a taste of Stacy. I don't have video, and I tried to get the little clip you sent me up on my thing, but I couldn't get it. Some of my download thing, but I'm gonna try to play your song, and maybe you could voice over along with it.
Well,
So you
I
know,
hope I.
we'll see where we get there. But she got a couple of songs that I really, really like. Personally, really like a couple of her songs. And we're gonna talk about her songs when we get there. And I'm gonna try to play a couple of the songs in the music and see how it goes. All right. So you went back to church, you recommit yourself to the Lord, and now you're trying to punch up a deal with Him. You kind of
I,
punch up a
I
deal and say, "Okay, Lord, was it all conditional for you that you say, Lord, this is if you do this, I'll do this? What is conditional between you and the Lord, or is a deal by yourself, but not
my
the Lord's
brother,
response?"
I just felt like. I mean, I could have gone different ways. I probably because of course you're going to America, you could do whatever you want to do. But I felt the Lord was calling me. So I mean, felt a pulling or a calling. And because let me tell you, when my ex-husband came back to Jamaica, because I met him, I was still going out. I was still, going, of course, going out. And I told him that I was gonna, you know, I'm going to church. I've been going. But when he came to Jamaica, he was surprised. He was a little surprised because I was more of a just down. I'm not going out. I don't want to go to there, this, there, whatever. So I was like, change, but still trying to understand that change as it comes. You don't want to disappoint anybody, but you're still trying to follow the pulling.
Hmm.
And yeah. And so he knows the Lord himself. He wasn't. I don't know if he was sold out, but
Okay.
I don't think he was. But he knows the Lord. He would go to church from time to time. He would pray. But when he came to Jamaica and saw that I was a little dressed down, everything, my attitude changed where I wouldn't go to the party. I would go out. I wouldn't want to do certain things. As I said, at that time, I was trying to not disappoint some people, but still the pulling, the Lord was pulling me and my mind was just on
Okay.
the Lord.
All right,
So
all right. I mean, that's good. That is good. Whether somebody like it or no, the best thing to do is to have a good relationship with the Lord. Okay, all right. So the Lord responded on the positive according to your request. So let's assume that you and the Lord were on the same page. We're
okay.
assuming you and him were on the same page. If you get me to America, Lord, I
Yeah.
promise you I will serve you. I'm not gonna go in. If I didn't go, I would have stopped serving. But okay,
Yeah.
so tell us how the transition now coming to America, you finally get that happening.
Finally come to America. Still, folks would say that when I get to America, I'm gonna change. Maybe some of the folks, the church folks down there as well, thinking that once you get to America, you're changed. And I used to talk to God myself, and I told God I was a little nervous though, but I said, Lord, if I'm gonna change, don't let me go. If I'm gonna forget my mother, don't let me go. If I'm
Hmm.
gonna forget all these things, don't let me go. I remember talking to the Lord about that because and then people would let you feel some sort of guilty, like you're gonna go, you're gonna change, and so yeah, I had my little talk with the Lord, and I come and I really, you know, keep my mind on helping my mother, helping my family, serving my
Hmm.
God. Of course, I had my little don't do what I'm supposed to do all the time. I had that moment where church is there, but we get into some sort of situation sometimes. But I was still with God. I just, we mess up a little here and there, but
All right, all right, okay. Listen, um, and well, one might not want to say what their real struggles are, and that's okay, because uh, we're all human, and that's where the inspiration comes from your story. When people get to understand your real life struggles, the things that your low moments, your high moments, and then they can say, "Boy, if she been through that and get to where she's now, that gives me hope. That gives me hope."
mm,
Right? We all not every single person don't have the same experience, but most of us have our down moments and our up moments. But the good thing is to ride out the storm, or ride above the
yeah,
storm, or ride in the eye of the storm,
yeah.
and make it through the storm. Storms will always come, but making it through the storm is what is important. My friends, I'm talking to Stacy, elevated. We're gonna soon get to find out where the elevated comes from, because that must come from somewhere. I don't know where
Yes,
it came from yet. So what
yes,
I
I
hope that I get to
do.
find out where the elevated come from. So I'm probing, and she is a rising artist, and she has a real good voice, and she got a couple of good songs. I'm gonna try to play some audio if I can get that. I think it's gonna come through. Let me just take a crack and see if this comes through. Yeah, just like, let's see if we hear it. Let's see if we hear it. You hear that? All right, all right. So all right. So can everybody hear? Did you hear that? Give me a ding if you hear the audio coming through. Let me see. Somebody tell me if you heard that little bit that I tipped there to see if you will hear it when I play it. Somebody put a signal and tell me that you heard it. All right. So all right. In the meanwhile, I wait to hear somebody put that in the chat. Tell us where your life went now. You come to America. Things didn't always go good. And then what? Where did it turn around for the better? Or what did you have to do? Loud, nice. Thank you, Mavis. I
So
appreciate
yeah, so I did serve as worship leader as a worship leader
it.
in
Valerie, shout out to see you too. All right.
quite a few, especially this one church. I served as worship leader for about 9, 10 years, and then I've,
So you came into America and
mm,
you were at the same church organization, or you found a new church? What happened?
I found that when I came, of course, it's kind of hard to you have to find your way around, and I found this church. I was like 25 minutes away from where I was living. Sorry, I served in there. keep singing. And yes, I've served there for about 10 years. It wasn't a smooth sailing. I mean, you come across opposition, you know, at first you went in and it seems like it's love at first sight. And there are genuine folks in there. The pastor is a wonderful guy. Is the first lady as well. They don't say the things that you want to hear or I want to hear all the time.
Hmm.
And but there are other things going on, and of course, it stayed for 10 years. I move on to other churches. I sung at various churches, different churches, you know, and I came upon strong opposition. Like folks would just, you know,
You just
like
don't
at
you
one
just don't want
point,
you don't want to say it. You're struggling
at,
and you don't want to say it.
at one point, it's like I get to the point where you serve in the church and you come up against, when I say come up against opposition, members and pastors, and I'm not going to call their names or anything,
That's fine. We don't we
remove
don't we
that.
don't call people's names.
Right. I left that. And then, so coming up against those things kind of like just put doubts in you, and you just feel like maybe you're not going to be a singer, or maybe you're not going to, get anywhere.
So did
So
that cause you? Did that cause you to question your gifts and talent, or question whether you're gonna have the opportunities? Which one?
question whether I'm going to have the opportunity, my gift, because some says, well, at one point it gets to where they say, folks would say, my time has passed,
Really? Okay.
because, I'm singing, so I guess they say, oh, she never going to be nowhere, or season has passed, or
Really?
season time is up,
Oh,
singing is
interesting.
outdated, or, you
Oh,
know,
that's interesting.
they would say things to make you just say, okay, at one point I started looking into, I'm a Jamaican. Yes, I sing worship songs. But then you look at the type of music they're trying to compare your voice to some of these folks. You're not singing like them. You don't have the runs and the curves and
All
the,
right. All right.
so,
All right.
they'll just make you feel like you ain't good enough. And of course, this leads to fast forward here, this leads to the beginning of the pandemic, you know,
Mhm.
when I was going through church hurt at the time. And of course, just other folks just this saying a lot of stuff, disparaging words that no matter what you do, they'll never say nothing good. And so I would say at the time when I really needed God, He came through for me. I guess I had the time because I was in the kitchen and the Spirit of God came to me, and I now realized that was God saying, I'm too busy. I was too busy for my blessing.
Hmm.
So, with all what's going on and believing, some people make you, even though I'm singing, I was just, didn't think it wasn't gonna happen for me. And so I spoke to God, said I was gonna give up singing. I'm not gonna try to sing professional. I don't care. I'm just gonna go to church and just be a part of the worship leading, the worshiping, and just that. And just feeling bad about the things they say, and just feel like you're just not good enough. And then I started crying to the Lord. I said, Lord, help me. I'm giving up.
Was 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 some of the negative reaction? Some of the negative reaction um, stem from jealousy, or somebody wanted to suppress it because they don't want you to succeed? Was that intentional, trying to break your momentum, to make you feel not as worthwhile as you thought you were? Or was it somebody just jealous and wish they were in your place or could do what you did or were doing?
Pastor, I would say both. The spirit behind both of the, both of the how you describe it just now. The spirit behind it is did not
Mhm.
mean well. It's part of jealousy, and yeah, some really see the gift on you. Some would they know, but the very fact that you exist with a gift, some would try to lie to you. And now I know that God always have a plan for me. God, He always have, my promise was always guaranteed. If it makes sense that what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Now I know. So sometimes men tend to put a time, you know, on your life or on your breakthrough or any destiny. So that would distract you from really hearing the voice of God because then you're thinking that's God speaking. So they already knew that there's a promise on your life and that if you allow greatness to take over, you know, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world, they know that I can be great, God too. So they will just tell you things and then you find yourself start believe them when the promise of God is always upon your life. It's always guaranteed. But now you're looking for a train to turn up, and if the train doesn't come, then I ain't gonna move. And God is trying to tell you a different way, but the way that they tell you looks sweeter. So you're waiting for, but they already know, they already seen the promise, and they try to distract you, if from
I get you.
your
I get you.
destiny or your path. So they jealousy is a part of it, and just don't want you to make it period. Is yes,
Okay, I got you. I
amen.
got you. I got you, my friend. You can still hit your share button and invite your friends to join us because we're gonna get into the progressive part of Stacy's growth, ministry development. I kind of forgot. I run away quickly, and I didn't get to tap back into your testimony that you were giving at one singing that you were doing that recently. About I got a roof above me and shoes on my feet. I didn't get into that. I don't want to go back because typical
It's
Jamaican.
okay. It's okay. Whatever, wherever it leads you,
Well, I don't.
we're
I don't.
talking.
I'm not.
But you
Maybe.
can.
Maybe I don't want to go
Okay.
back on that because that's
Okay.
taking you back to Jamaica. So we don't want to take you back
Okay.
to
Okay.
Jamaica. All right. So
Yes. Yes.
we're going to reverse to Jamaica. That's too far to go back.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. All right. Okay. So give me a little bit of insight now. When and how did this break through? And at what point are we going to get into your backup singing? Because I think you said some of the girls who, the ladies for that matter, sang together, do backup singing, and stuff like that. Can you give me a little bit of insight into that? If you care to.
So you chose me. You've listened to that song, right? You chose me.
Mm-hmm.
When that song came, the Lord gave. I did the background vocal for that song. I never done background vocals before, but I always shy away from it because you grew up not having any voice training or any type of, teaching about that. So you just sing one way. You try to like focus on leading.
Yeah.
So the Lord gave that to me too. I ended up doing the background vocals for that song. So and then, the couple songs that I have now, yes, the producer has his own. I believe his wife did the backup. His wife did the backup on those other two songs. But I do have singers. I call them my team. They go out with me and Judith, Rudolph, Tamika, Tamara. They always got my back when we're doing live shows. Those are my co-workers.
Okay. Who
Right.
did I hear did back up with Jermaine? Who did backup art? Or did I
Oh,
get something
they
wrong?
did.
Oh,
No,
they
I
did.
didn't do backup with him.
Oh,
Them.
okay, okay,
They
okay,
did
okay,
backup with him.
Okay, okay, got you,
Right.
got you, got you. Hopefully, one of these days I can get them on Let's Talk with the Doc, so I can talk with them as well. Maybe they're gonna be listening and say, okay, if I could talk to some of those girls you just called their name, or ladies for that matter.
They sing
I'd be
too. They sing too. Some
okay.
just
I'd be
haven't come out yet, but
all right. Well,
yeah, I will
I'll be
tell
more
you.
than happy to. I'll be more than happy to chat with them on Let's Talk with the Doc. So I'm sending the
Yeah,
signals out that you can we can talk. Okay. So tell me about which one of the songs is your first
you chose me.
it chose me. All
You
right, so
you
give us
chose me.
you
You
chose
chose
me.
me. Yeah.
You chose me. Give me an insight into the inspiration of that song. What triggered that first single? What triggered that one? You chose me.
Yes, I was ready to give up, crying to the Lord, asking him to help me. And then at that time, I was just playing a little instrumental because I followed some guys on YouTube. And but even before that, sorry, before that, these words came to me. I was just talking to the Lord, and I could hear, "I am your creation. I am your masterpiece. You are my foundation, Jesus. You're all I need." But he was trying to tell me, you are my creation. You are my masterpiece. I am your foundation. I am all you need.
Mm-hmm.
From my mother's womb, you chose me. And that keep coming, and then the song keep revealing as the day goes by. Um, it keep coming. But those words were him trying to remind me who I am and whose I am, you know,
Yes, I
and
heard
remind me.
somebody said she could do a cappella. Somebody said that there she could do a cappella.
Yeah.
Let me just give okay. Let me just give a little bit of tip of that, a little tip
Mm.
of that song you chose me. A little tip of that, a little tip of that. This is Stacy Elevated Wilson. We're gonna come back and have a little bit more conversation.
Thank you, Jesus.
I am your creation. I am your masterpiece. You are my foundation. Jesus, you're all I need. Ooh, I am your creation. I am your masterpiece. You are my foundation. Jesus, you're all I need. From my mother chose me.
Thank you, Jesus.
Love unconditional, you show me.
Oh,
Lord,
Lord,
with your love, will you raise me? Go ahead and sing with it. Go ahead and sing with it. No problem.
you set me.
I am your creation. Lord,
Lord,
help
help
me to see what you
what you
see
see
in me.
in me.
You are my salvation. Help me, Lord, help me to be. You
You
created
created
me to
to
be
be
from my
from my
mother's
mother's
womb.
womb.
You chose me.
Oh, yes, Lord.
Love unconditional. All right. I'm
Yes,
not giving you
you
all of it. I'm not giving you all of it. You gotta go get the song. Go get the
chose
song.
me for your kingdom.
All right. Now you know.
I'm yours completely.
All right. That's her
Okay.
first. That's her first
First
single,
finger. Yes.
driven by coming out of desperation, coming out of
Mm,
situation, not
right.
giving up. God is still my hope and my future, and
Yes.
everything rely it depend on Him, and He chose me, and I'm not gonna be forsaken or deprived or despised,
Mhm.
because
Yes.
if God is taking me along, then He's got purpose on my life. All right,
He's
so
my provider, sir.
my provider. All right.
Yes.
So you got that one. You got that one. And what happened? So you sing. You did the whole thing by yourself. You did the backup by yourself as well.
That's what I immediately, when this song came to me, my friend and manager, Suzette Ferguson Morgan, if you're listening,
Susan
thank
Morgan
God.
just pop up there and call you sing psalmist. So that's what Susan
Okay.
right there.
I'm not seeing her, but yes. Hello, manager. I called her and I reached out to her and I said, she said, "What's up? Greetings." I said, I feel like I'm going into discouragement. That's exactly what I said to her. She said, What do you mean? What's up? What happened?" I said, and then I started explaining to her, talking to her. I don't know, I got this song and da da da. But before you chose me, God opened up my writing, you know, my gift of writing to me during the pandemic.
Okay.
But you chose me was birth when I just start thinking about all the things they say, I'm never gonna do this, you
Mm.
know. And I remember I said, I don't know any musicians, and who I thought would have been the one to my musicians, none of what I thought or, you know, expected what did happen. So she said, I know somebody. And I'm saying to myself, who does she know? I'm saying to myself, who she know? Because I didn't thought she know anyone. And that's when she told me about the gentleman that did my song, Pastor Jerry with Prosperity Records. Um, I don't know, you call it records. Yeah. And she said, "Do you want to talk to him?" And so she was trying to encourage me because I have this song and it's so nice. And then everything started happening after that. And I met up with him and I told him what I want and what I'm hearing. And, we made it happen. The Lord gave me the song, the backup, listen, it was like all God's plan.
Like Jacqueline Carr said, you got to encourage yourself, right? Sometimes, so that song came out of
Yourself, yes.
encouraging Stacy to climb. The doors aren't closed, no matter what it sounds like around you. The doors aren't closed, so keep on climbing.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so my friends, I'm talking to Stacy Elevated Wilson. All right,
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna I'm
Jesus.
gonna get to the give me a give tell me where did the elevated come from? Where the inspiration of elevated? What fits that into the middle? Parenthesize, Stacy Wilson into elevated Wilson. Give me a little bit of insight into the elevated part of it.
So during that time, I remember I had my name Stacy Gordon on Facebook, and then I got my brother. It's the Lord that gave me, but how it came, I didn't understand because I've never changed my name. I've never done anything like this, but the Lord was setting me up for something greater. So I remember I put up elevated, I put up Stacy elevated, I put up elevated, Wilson elevated, I believe I had there. And my
So
daughter
you so
went
you so
up.
you so you know that elevated is somewhere in it, but you're not sure where it fits. So you're trying it from every
I
direction.
put no when I started it was Wilson elevated, I believe I put, or Wilson elevated Stacy. It's somewhere there. And then my daughter was like, but I tried to remove it, but my daughter was like, Mom, why is that in your name? Why is this, why is that? And I was like, I didn't understand the change, what was going on. And then I said, What? And she was like, Mom, please. And we had to talk about that. And I just couldn't remove it. But Later found out the Lord gave me that name, and He gave me not as a self gain name, but just to remind me of the level of which He's taken me. So Stacy Elevated was a given name by God, and I stand on God's elevation, and that's my brand from God.
All right, all
So
right.
yes,
Okay, my friends, I'm talking to Stacy, Elevated Wings, and she got you got three songs out there, right? Three singles. You
yes.
know what? I think I played I Am Blessed once, but I tried it earlier and I realized, oh, I like that one too. I like that one. But my favorite one is
Jehovah.
Jehovah. That's my favorite. But
Jehovah.
now I think all three songs are really good. So I'm not giving you all of the songs. I'm just giving you a little tip of it that you can go get it. So I'm gonna play a little bit of I'm Blessed here, and then I'm gonna play my favorite one last. This is I'm Blessed.
Thank you, Jesus.
I am blessed. I'm blessed.
Thank you, Jesus.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. There is none like you, none like you. No one could ever bless my
My
heart
heart
like
like
you.
you.
I could search
Woo.
throughout eternity. Lord, there
Lord, baby,
be no
no
one so
one so
great
great
and
and
mighty.
mighty.
Lord, there is
There is
none like
none like
you.
you.
None like you. No one
No
could
one can
ever touch
ever
my
bless my
heart
heart
like
like
you.
you.
I could
I
search
can search
throughout
through
eternity.
eternity.
Lord, there'll
Lord, baby,
be no
no
one so
one so
great and
great and
mighty.
mighty.
I
I
am
am
blessed. I am blessed. I'm
blessed.
blessed. Yeah. It was understood. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. If I give you all of it here, then you if I give you all of it here, you won't go get the song for yourself. So you're gonna go back to Facebook or YouTube and play it, and you won't go listen, go get your own copy.
Right?
So
Coming was I'm blessed.
all
That's
right.
right.
So yeah, that's a bit of a blend of I am blessed with a little bit of twist on it, right? So,
Yeah.
so give me a little bit. I'm blessed. Give me a little bit of what triggered the twist in that uh, 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 a combination of a couple of things. You give it your own. The musician would say you give it your own twist. Make it your own. You took from one and then combine them together. Give me
Yeah.
the inspiration behind that.
Hmm. This lady, Miss Jackson, Andrea Jackson, wherever you are, honey, I love you so much. She is one. I She invited me to sing at an event she was having, her 7th year celebration. She give back to the kids in Jamaica, vacation Bible school. She go back home, and she always have this big event every year, and she would get stuff bring back home. So I was one of the artists she reached out to sing for her, or so she sent a few songs. I would say minister, because I minister. She sent me a few songs. She sent this one specific song, I Am Blessed. And I see it's from Mr. Vegas, the lady one, Mr. Vegas song. I saw that it was him. But the way it was, song, or, it's like, I don't do that song. I don't know how to sing this. So before I wanted to get back in touch with her to tell her that I can't sing this one, it's not me. I never sing like this, or the 9 yard. So I heard a voice say, "You can write your own song. You can write about your own blessings. You can sing about your own blessings." And so Mr. Vegas, in his part of his song, he said, I just the blessing. That's what it is.
Right.
He's starting. So I remember I just started saying, I am blessed. I am blessed. I'm blessed. Yes. And I keep doing that and then I just hear, this old hymn or song, one of those older songs pop up and I said, I don't want to do people's songs. So I just hear, there is none like you. None. And of course, I heard the backup as well. And the producer was telling me, slow down. When I brought it to him, he was saying, slow down, because I'm singing backup and everything to him. And he was saying, slow down, slow down. So there is none like you, none like you. And I keep doing that. No one could ever bless my heart like you do. I could search throughout eternity. Lord, there'll be no one so great and mighty. Then I go back to the chorus and then I finished it and I put my own words at the rest. Your love is so amazing. Your blessings
I
fill
saw
my life.
Fay guy telling me that I need to play the ending part of it. So
She
let
loved
me
the
get
ending.
let me get the ending part of it for the rest of the people.
When I think of all the things that you have done for me, I know when I think of all you set me free, I know hear me now, your goodness around me now. Love me all of my tongue,
That's a Sing J.
your goodness around me now. The blessings I tumbled on your goodness is running after me.
She loved it.
Your goodness is
Ooh, love.
running after
Can you
me.
play that little part again, Mr.
It's
Matt?
running after
Hey, listen, we're going to turn Let's Talk with the Doc in a concert tonight. Now we're going
hear me now. Your
Your
goodness
goodness
around me
and
now.
love,
Love me
and
all my
you
tongue,
love
you
to
know.
know.
Your
Your
goodness
goodness
around me
and
now.
love,
Love me
and me
blessings I
blessings and
tumbled on
love,
your
your goodness
it's
is
running
running
after
after
me.
me.
Your
Your
goodness,
goodness
it's
is
running
running
after
after
me.
me.
It's running
Lord, me knows and me bless. Confident, come, me knows and me bless.
all right, all right. I'm with Stacy, Elevated Wilson, and Let's Talk with the
Thank you,
Doc.
Mister.
That's Let's Talk with the Doc with a twist. That's kind of different from what I normally do here. I don't normally get bring artists on and then play their songs in between.
Oh.
So okay, so I'm kind of giving some audio because I don't have video clips of that, which would have been nice to see her on stage. But I guess you're gonna have to figure out where she's appearing and try to meet her somewhere so you can see her and hear her live on stage. All right. Um, let her get a let her get a cup of water. Just stay right
Yes,
there. You get a cup of water, and I'm gonna take a little break and come back, and then we will continue. You gotta keep your camera right there.
yes, I'm not going anywhere.
All right. So let's take a little move on and then come right back.
ORB Ministries presents Truth Matters. Join the Truth Matters panel for discussion on issues of the times with host Dr. Orville Beckford Sr. and his panel consisting of Bishop Ishmael Charles, Reverend Joycelyn Barnett, Minister Ava Samuels, Minister Kevin Johnson, Dr. Danette Ming, Bishop Anthony Campbell, and Pastor Shelley Antoni. Nothing is off limits for discussion. Follow ORB Ministries on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And be ready for the next hot topic on Truth Matters.
this is the book they've been talking about. The seven churches of Asia Minor, or the seven churches in Revelation. If you want to know about the letters that Jesus sent to these churches, you gotta get yourself a copy of this book. Scan the QR code to get an ebook or a paperback, and then you can find out a lot more about these churches and the letters Jesus sent to them. It's your story. Everyone has a story. Do you want to tell yours? Stories are inspirational and unique. Maybe God wants to use your story as a life changer for someone. But that will never happen unless you share your story. Not only that it could be a life changer for somebody, but it could change your life as well as you release yourself. Let it go and inspire someone. That will not happen unless you share it. Remember, your light can't shine covered under a bushel. Do you want to share your story? Email orbministries@gmail.com and let's talk with the doc. Only heaven will record the impact you might have and the lives you will change as you share. Maybe that's a ministry God has given you to be a source of inspiration, a testimony of God's goodness and how you made it. Are you ready? Let's do it.
Every Wednesday, 8 p.m., join ORB Ministries on Let's Talk with the Doc, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. There is a story, something to encourage and inspire you. You may even have a life-changing experience. You never know what's next or who will join the conversation. Stay connected. Subscribe to ORB Ministries YouTube channel. Follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
All right. So we are back. We are back with the last segment of this conversation, and I'm excited to have Sister Stacy Elevated Wilson with me tonight, and she's on the rise. She's on the rise, and the music's good. The music is well done, well put together. And my favorite song is Still Yet to Come. I love them all, but my favorite is Still Yet to Come. And I love that one even more because of the appeal of the saxophone. I have a passion for saxophone. I have a passion for saxophone. I fool around it a couple of times, and I still promise myself that before, well, it depending if the Lord give me a few more years, I am going to play one because I got a couple of them, and I'm gonna play one of those saxophones. I fool around a couple of times, but I haven't given it any real time. But I promise myself that I'm gonna play one of those saxophones because it is the best of the piece of music that I really like. I love it with a passion. All right. So tell me about the Jehovah now and the how did you get Mr. Saxophonist, the inimitable saxophonist, Dean Fraser, to tell me about the story behind Jehovah.
Glory to God. Jehovah, yes, that's also a song I've written during the first experience of the pandemics. I did it on a faster beat, more of a Afro kind of beat. But then one day I was listening to this nice little beat, reggae sounding beat, and I said I like that beat, and I was, as I look to the hills, from whence cometh my help, I know it's you, Lord. And at that time, I was believing God for some stuff, some things I did not see yet, and just singing and claiming, what is about to come. And I went to this producer and I to Tony Blair. I went to him and I did that one. I went to him to do my album. Actually, he's working on my album, The Promise. And I brought I Am Blessed and Jehovah at that time. And he loved Jehovah as well too. And then when I started singing it, I gave him an idea of the reggae beat, of the beat that I wanted, and he started creating it. And then he suggested to me that, getting a saxophone on this one would be nice. So
Mm.
he had the link with Dean Fraser, and that was gonna cost a little more because when it came to me, I'm like, saxophone, I don't know about that. I just didn't want to pay the extra money. But I thought the song could just go ahead without
Mm-hmm.
Dean Fraser. But he said he's gonna get him to do it. And he talked me into it. And I'm thanking God it was a real good idea. Because when he came back with that song, whoo, now I
Uh-huh.
developed a love for saxophone. Because
Uh-huh.
yeah, that thing was nice.
Uh-huh.
And I heard it and I'm like, ah. He said, I told you you're gonna like it, but producers they hear stuff and he was hearing that on it. And so he created the beat with the sax and we make it work. And his wife was the background vocal as well. She did an awesome job. Yes. That's
Also,
all
he's the producer's wife help with the background on that one.
she did the background vocals on that
All
one.
right, she didn't have to go too far to get the help. All right.
Mhm. So but Jehovah came because you're believing God for some stuff. Because I remember when I tried to release it, I was scared to even say I didn't have money in the account to even